Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first official episode of the ACential Podcast. My name is Sean. I am your host, and I am glad to be back with you for this first official episode. If you guys haven't already, please go back and listen to episode 0. We kind of detail what Anime Central is about, what this podcast is about, and a little bit about myself. But that's not what we're here for today. No. This is our first official episode, and we're going into the first big announcement of Anime Central 2022. That is room blocks, guys. But before we get to room blocks, got to do another little update, which is registration. In the last episode, like I told you guys, Tier 1 registration is coming to a close quicker than you think. Tier 1 registration ends on August 31st at midnight. And on September 1st, we move into Tier 2. And you guys, if you don't already have your badges locked in, you need to get on that, because Tier 2 registration for adults is $68. So if you want to save yourself a little bit of cash, save yourself $5, you go in there, go to www.acen.org/registration-info and get signed up today. Get your badge. You don't want to miss 25 years of ACen. It's going to be great. Now, let's get to the big stuff, the stuff you guys have been waiting for. That's right. Room blocks for Anime Central 2022 are opening on September 3rd at noon Central Time. So whatever time that is, in whatever time zone you live in, that's the time it's going to be, because the convention's held in Rosemont, and that's on Central Time. So that's what time you need to be on it. So let's break it down and tell you guys what is all opening on September 3rd. We got our main partner hotel. We've got the Hyatt Regency O'Hare. We've got the Embassy Suites. We've got the Doubletree, the Crowne Plaza, the Westin, the Hyatt Rosemont, and if you guys are not already following our social media, then you missed that we announced 2 more. We are also opening up the Aloft and the Comfort Inn Suites. So make sure that you're following our social media so you don't miss these announcements. All right, so let's break down each hotel, how much it costs, and get you guys start thinking about your budgets. Let's start with the Hyatt Regency O'Hare. Costs for the Hyatt Regency start out at $229 a night for a king, go up to $234 a night for a double. Parking at the Hyatt is $23 a day. For those of you guys who have stayed at the Hyatt before, you know that 1 month before the convention happens, the Hyatt takes out 1 night's deposit from your payment method to secure your room. So make sure when you're booking your room, you give them a payment method that is going to be valid in April, so that way your room doesn't get taken away from you. If your payment method changes or anything like that, make sure you call the hotel before that deadline and give them the correct payment information. Moving on, we've got the Embassy Suites. The Embassy Suite starts out at $235 a night for single or double occupancy for a king room, and goes all the way up to $295 a night for a double with quadruple occupancy. Embassy Suites parking starts at $29 a day. Moving over to our friends at the Doubletree. Doubletree starts at $207 a night for single or double occupancy for a king room, goes all the way up to $242 a night for a double room with quadruple occupancy. Parking is also $29 a day at the Doubletree for in and out privileges. But if you don't want those privileges, you can pay $15 a day, but you got to pay that every single time you go in and out. Next up, Crowne Plaza starts at $215 a night for a king, goes up to $225 a night for a double, regardless of occupancy type. So if it's just you by yourself or it's 4 people in the room, that's the price for those 2 types of rooms. Parking at the Crowne is $20 a day. Moving over to the Westin. Westin costs start at $229 a night for single/double occupancy. Goes up to $279 a night for quadruple occupancy. And this hotel only has 1 room type. So It doesn't matter. There's no king and double. It's just one type of room. I believe it's just a king. Parking at the Westin is the cheapest. It is $10 a day. And then moving to our friends at the Hyatt Rosemont. Now, just to make sure everybody's clear, the Hyatt Rosemont and the Hyatt Regency O'Hare are not the same hotel. The Hyatt Regency O'Hare is directly across from the convention center. The Hyatt Rosemont is about a mile or so up North River Road, up near the Rivers Casino. So, Hyatt Rosemont costs are $189 a night for all occupancy types, and this hotel also only has one room type. Parking at the Hyatt Rosemont starts at $15 a day. Now we move on to our two late announcements that came in. We've got the A-Loft. It starts at $234 a night for a king and $244 a night for a double room, regardless of occupancy. And parking there is $15 a day. Lastly, we've got the Comfort Inn. Costs start at $149 a night for 2 adults and $169 a night with 4 adults. I was wrong. The Westin does not have the cheapest parking. The cheapest parking goes to the Comfort Inn because the parking there is free. All right, guys, we have got a real special treat for you here. As I said in the first episode, or should I say episode 0, that I wanted you guys to see the volunteers of Anime Central as human beings, as people who are working hard to make this convention happen for you. And I am very happy today to bring you guys an interview that I recorded with the head of our venue site relations team, Mr. Donald Hess. So you guys take a listen to that interview. It's really awesome. Today, I am very lucky to be joined by the head of our venue site relations team, our venue site relations manager, Mr. Don Hess. Don, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
All right, Don. So the whole purpose that I set out for the ACential Podcast was I want people to get to know us as people, not just nameless, faceless volunteers. So I kind of want people to get to know the guy that is responsible for making sure we have hotels to stay at and a convention center to hold our convention in.
Yes. I've been doing this for a few years. This will be my second year in this position, but yeah.
Okay. So, well, first things first, let's introduce you to the podcast listeners. If you could just give us your name and what you do for the organization.
All right. Well, my name is Donald Hess. Everybody calls me Don, though, so that's fine. I'm the venue site relations chairperson, venue finance committee co-chairperson.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is handle the contracts for the Donald E. Stevens and get all the room blocks for the hotels in Rosemont, as you said. What I also do is I handle all the audio-visual side of things. And I do want to let all of our listeners know you can find all the hotels that we're partnering with at acen.org under the Plan Your Trip tab.
Oh, yes. As those people who are following our social media know, on September 3rd at noon Central, we originally announced that we were going to have 6 hotels. That's now jumped up to 8, which, if I'm correct, Don, would that be the most hotels we've opened at one time?
Yes. I am currently working on a 9th as well.
Ooh.
Hopefully that'll be in sometime this weekend, and we can announce that next week before the 3rd.
Oh, so there you go, podcast listeners. A little bit of an exclusive there. We might have a 9th. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about who is Don Hess outside of the Anime Central conventions? Like, what do you do for a living?
I recently started a new job as a stone cutter. I make custom countertops, mosaics, etc. I have a 16-year-old who lives in New York with their mother.
Mm-hmm.
But
oh, very interesting. So if I need a quote on some countertops, I could reach out to you.
Well, I just cut it. I don't.
Okay.
I'm not the salesperson.
Gotcha.
I'll put you in touch with the right people, though.
All right. I appreciate it. So tell me, so you said you've been in the venue site relations chair position for 2 years. How long have you been attending Anime Central?
I have been attending for as long as I've been staffing, which is 11 years now, and I've had a great time every year.
Awesome. So you started out on staff. You didn't like attend first and then become a staffer.
Yes, I've only experienced the convention as a staffer, and honestly, I'm not even sure what I'd do with all the available time if I ever went as an attendee.
Yeah, being on staff for 11 years, I bet you'd be at the convention being like, man, I should be doing something for the con.
Absolutely.
So, tell me, what's your favorite anime?
Um, well, I don't actually have a favorite. I've had many suggestions from friends which I'd enjoy, but I'm terrible and I haven't really made the time to watch any. I can tell you that Voltron was my introduction to anime, which is showing my age a little bit. And One Punch Man was the latest that I've seen.
Yeah. I also enjoyed One Punch Man and was told vehemently by friends to avoid season 2. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. So you said you've been with the organization now for 11 years. What did you start out doing?
I got my start in IRT. My brother
Ah.
and my sister-in-law were in the department at the time, and they told me that even with my limited knowledge of anime, that I'd enjoy it. That was an understatement. I love the culture and I love the community. I've made so many friends that I couldn't imagine what I'd be without those people in my life.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm excited actually to staff my first ACen. As our listeners know, I've been on staff for 2 years, but I joined just before the global pandemic, so I'm missing out on that. But I'm looking forward to 2022 and getting my first foot in there.
Well, like I said, this will be my second year as chairperson, so I actually haven't been at a physical con in my current position.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, which unfortunately gives me the distinction of having more experience at canceling conventions than I do of hosting them, which I want that record broken really soon.
Yeah. Let's hope that 2022 will be the year that I get to be on staff for the first time. You get to be there, as the venue site relations person, and that we get to enjoy our 25th ACen. Can you believe ACen's been around for 25 years?
I can't. No. The community that the people have built up, like the fans, our attendees, our staff, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it really is. It speaks loudly to the love that our attendees give us, because we wouldn't be here 25 years. We wouldn't be the largest anime convention in the Midwest if it wasn't for them.
Exactly.
So, like you said, you were on IRT first, and now, what did you do the last physical year we had ACen?
I was the assistant committee chair for venue site relations.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I did that for a few years. So I've got the experience, but my predecessor was named con chair in 2020, but unfortunately we didn't have that convention. So
Right. So, let's map out what a typical year as the assistant venues relations person was. So when does your year for planning ACen start?
Well, I tend to deal multiple years in the future
Okay.
with a number of our venues. But as far as the nitty gritty planning goes, I start about 14 months out. So I'm always a few months before the con year actually starts.
So you could say technically you're already planning for 2023.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Always. I mean, I am actually already planning for 2026 as
Wow.
things go.
All right, guys. So you heard it. We're planning all the way out to 2026. I hope you guys are ready. So what all, like, you said that as the relations chair, you are mainly responsible for dealing with the contracts with our hotel partners, dealing with the contracts with the convention center. Do you at least enjoy it?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's funny. When I was on IRT, like it was all right. I've done this for enough years. I want to do something else. And again, my sister-in-law, who was also in the department at the time, she was like, "Hey, you should work in venue, with one of our staff friends." And I was like, "Well, I don't really know what they do, and I don't really have the experience." And she's like, "Go for it. I'm sure that you'd love it." And yeah, no, I tend to follow her advice a lot, and she's never led me wrong. And again, like the other friends that I've made, staff and management, they've always been like a guiding light. And I have a mentorship with a number of senior managers and things like that. So
good. So as we've said that 2022 is going to be our triumphant return to the Stevens Convention Center, and it's also going to be our 25th ACen. What are you looking forward to for ACen 2022?
Well, unfortunately, we are planning on some surprises, but I just can't talk about it.
Oh,
so nice try.
I had to try. I'm trying to be a little bit of an investigative journalist,
Yes.
But I guess lastly, do you have any words for our attendees? Like anything you want to tell them?
I just want to say that we miss you. I'm so excited to see you all again. My quote unquote con weekend starts on Wednesday before the event, and then watching the Hyatt transform and watching as our staff and the attendees start coming in always gives me goosebumps. We can't wait to welcome everyone back home to Anime Central. And if I could, I would also like to give a shout out to the folks on my team, Scott, Leslie, and Dan, who make my life at con a lot easier. So,
all right. We greatly appreciate all the work that you and your team do. Obviously, like I said at the beginning, we'd be having this convention in a parking lot somewhere if it wasn't for you and your team.
Yes.
So, Don, thank you so much for joining us today on the ACential Podcast. We're very much looking forward to hearing about a possible ninth hotel opening up on Friday.
Yes.
So, anyway, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Big shout out to Don and his team for all the hard work that they do, making sure that we've got a place to hold our convention. And thank you to Don again for sitting down with me and chatting about all the work that he does for us. Now that we've talked a little bit about each hotel and you kind of know about the work that goes into getting in those hotels, let's talk about my personal tips and tricks for snagging a room at Anime Central. Now, I should preface this, legal disclaimer here, that these are not guaranteed 100% to work. There are great forces in the universe that could prevent you from booking a room. But these are my personal tips. I have been staying at Anime Central hotels since 2010, and I've never had any issues. Knock on wood. So, these are my personal tips for booking a hotel room. All right, number one. If you are not already, make sure you are following our official social media pages. That's facebook.com/Anime Central. On Twitter, it's @Anime Central. Instagram is @Anime Central Official. Make sure you go to animecentral.org, scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. There's a link. There's like a box there to sign up for our newsletter. Make sure you're signed up for that. And then lastly, join our Discord server. There is a link in the show notes for you guys to join. The links for the room blocks all go up on our official social medias at noon Central on September 3rd. So make sure you are following those pages, because if you're not, you're going to miss the announcement, and then you're not going to be able to book a room. So that's kind of very important. Next, again, we're talking the night before right now. So the night before the room blocks open, you want to make sure you want to find the phone number for your chosen hotel's reservation line. Also, you want to find the phone numbers for your next 2 picks. So you want to have your top hotel and the next 2, you want those reservation lines saved to your phone. Because trust me, I've had it where I'm trying to get through to the hotel's website and something's not happening. I jump on the phone immediately, and I'm off to the races. So make sure that you've got your top 3 hotel picks saved to your phone. Also, the night before, I would recommend, this is my own personal recommendation, of signing up for whatever hotel you're wanting to stay at, their rewards program. The reason I say that is because, for me, I love when I get to ACen being able to not have to deal with the hassle of the front desk, being able to go directly to my room. And some of our hotels do offer that. So make sure, if you're staying at either of the Hyatts, you want to sign up for World of Hyatt. For the Doubletree and the Embassy Suites, that's Hilton Honors. For the Aloft and for the Crown Plaza, it's IHG Rewards, so forth and so on. So make sure you sign up for those. You get rewards points that you can possibly use towards ACen. Some hotels have policies about when you can use points, when you can't. But I'd sign up for these programs. They're free. They're not going to cost you anything. And they do come with some really nice perks. All right, so it is the day of, and you are ready to go. First piece of advice I give you is don't panic. That's the first piece of advice that's in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's the first piece of advice I'm going to give you here. Do not panic, because panicking will cause you to make critical errors that are going to cost you your room. So don't panic. Trust me, it's going to be all right. The next thing you want to go ahead and do is you want to have a tab open to our Facebook page, to our Twitter. I would say also have, if you've got Discord on your desktop, have that ready to go. I would also have the hotel's reservation site up and ready to go too, so that you're ready to go at noon. All right, so it's kickoff. It's noon central. Wait 15 seconds, because I'll tell you, as the guy who does pretty much all the social media posts, it takes a second for our planned scheduled posts to hit our social medias. So if it's noon exact and you're hitting refresh and you're not seeing anything, that's because it probably hasn't pushed just yet. Give it a couple seconds. It'll be there. So you see the link. All right, awesome. Click that link and get going. I would also, if you did my recommendation of signing up for rewards program, make sure before you click that link that you're already signed in. It'll save you time. And also, if you sign up for it, you can also save a payment method to your profile so that you don't even have to put your payment information in when you're done. It'll save you time in the reservation process. That's another reason to sign up for those rewards programs. At noon central, wait 15 seconds, then hit refresh on our social medias. You'll see the link. Click the link, and you should be off and going. Now, what happens if it's not going through? Again, like I said, don't panic. Try again. Keep trying for a good, solid 5 minutes. If after that time it's not going through, hit that phone number. Get going. Because I'll tell you right now, these hotels, the main hotels nearest to the convention center, sell out within 30 to 45 minutes. And every year, it's a record on how quickly we sell out those rooms. So make sure that, if you feel like after a minute you're not getting through, you want to call, that's fine too. Whatever works for you. I would not wait to start calling if you're not getting through on the website. So hopefully you've gotten through either on the website or you've gotten through on the phone. What happens if you just can't get through at all? Like you've tried the phone and the hotel's sold out. You've tried the website. The website says they're sold out. Move on to your second choice. Try them. And if they're sold out as well, move on to your third. If all of your choices are sold out, I would pick any of the hotels that we have room blocks with and book a room. Whether you intend to use that hotel or not, book yourself a room, because you don't want to be there trying to find a hotel room at a different hotel and not be able to get a hotel room at all. Like I said, I would book any hotel room you can that has an ACen room block. That way you are not missing out on anything. In the intervening time between the room blocks opening and the convention, call into the hotel and be like, hey, do you have any rooms available? They may. As we get closer to the convention, people will find out that the hotel doesn't work for their budget or something's come up and they can't make it, and hotel rooms may open up. So don't lose hope. You can definitely keep trying, because you never know what's going to happen. So those were my tips and tricks. I've been going to Anime Central since 2009. I've been able to book a room all those years, except for, the global pandemic years. Let me know if these tips and tricks works for you guys. Hit me up, podcast@acen.org, and let us know, did the tips work? What hotel did you get? And if they didn't work, let us know what happened. What happened to you? Did the website crash? Did you just have bad luck? Were you stuck on a plane flying somewhere and you couldn't book a room? Hit us up, podcast@acen.org, and let's hear from you guys. All right. Before we close out today's episode, got some comments from attendees. We asked you guys on social media, what hotel do you guys like to stay at? And we did get a couple answers. From Bree Bellman on Facebook, we heard that she prefers the Embassy, is hands down my favorite hotel. Complimentary breakfast, not the main hotel, but not a hike from the event. Spacious rooms and great staff. Brandon Siebert says the DoubleTree is his favorite. Great service, nice and clean rooms, nice little walk, whether it's the Skywalk or going across the street. That's great to hear, guys. Two different hotels. Like I said, you book a hotel with an ACen room block and you can't go wrong. Over on our Discord server, Motoko Kusanagi writes, my favorite hotel so far is the Embassy, just because I've stayed there most of the time I've gone. I'm comparing it to the Hyatt, the Aloft, and the Crowne Plaza. Despite being more, you get 2 rooms, a couch, a bed, and at least a sofa bed. Also, there's a fridge and a microwave and even some counter space and a total lounge area in one of the hotel rooms. And that's right, those Embassy rooms are quite big. You got that complimentary breakfast, and it works out really well for you if you really want some free food in the morning. But Motoko writes that she's actually trying out the DoubleTree this year. I'll tell you right now, guys, if you love cookies, those cookies at the DoubleTree cannot be beat. They are delicious. CPU Blanc on our Discord server writes the DoubleTree is his favorite. It's super quiet and it's connected to the Sky Bridge for easy access to the convention center. That's true. It's great to be able to walk outside the hotel when the weather's nice and you can just walk across the street. Or if the weather is bad or you've got some reason that you need to be covered, you can always take the Skyway from the DoubleTree. Hatate on our Discord server also writes that the Hyatt is his favorite. It's where my friends and I have stayed for the past several years, so it's become almost a tradition to stay there. It's also close enough to where all the main stuff happens, so I don't have to walk too far for some events. That's right, guys. The Hyatt is the heart of it all. So if you're wanting to be someone who is, you walk out your door and you're at ACen, the Hyatt is, you can't go wrong with the Hyatt Regency O'Hare. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for our first official episode of the ACential Podcast. I'd like you guys to reach out to us on social media, Facebook, Anime Central, Facebook.com/Anime Central, Twitter @Anime Central, Instagram @Anime Central Official, and in our Discord server. You know, I'm always looking for reviews about the podcast, what you guys like, what you don't like, what you want to see in future episodes, all that kind of stuff. I'm always looking for it, and I'm always looking for feedback, so don't be afraid to hit me up. Any of our social media, who knows, maybe your comments might make it on the show. So guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Our next episode is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be talking about costumed events. That's right. So whether you are planning to be in the masquerade or you're planning to go to a cosplay gathering, we're going to be talking about those kinds of things and how to best enjoy your time in either of those. So until next time, guys, my name is Sean. This has been the ACential Podcast, and thank you for listening. The ACential Podcast is a production for Anime Central and the Midwest Animation Promotional Society. All rights reserved.